We did it in a big £30 million mansion, and we all had to stay in there, sleep together and everything. It's great.
I bet.
4.
Lucky bubble.
Sometimes, if you're doing that 5 nights in a row, sometimes I'm like, I'm really lonely. I've got no one to talk to.
Okay, I want to hear the comparison between England and America. DragCon.
DragCon.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Welcome back to Freedom Impact Trust. It's AJ and Curtis here, and we have got 2, I'm going to say incredible guests on today. We've actually done some work with them before, haven't we, AJ?
Double trouble.
Double trouble. We've got, I'm not going to say the real nicknames that they did say before we started this podcast, but we've got Nick and Louis here. Guys, how you doing?
I feel like it's like EllaVady and Kitty Scott-Claus. It's weird. Like, what do you prefer to? Like,
I mean, when I'm out of drag, I find it weird to be called Ella, so Nick works for me.
I don't care.
always a kitty,
Everyone
though,
always
aren't
just
you?
calls me Kitty. The whole we've got a PT. He'll be like talking to me about her, and he'll be like, so I've got Nick later. But then like with me, he'll be like Kitty, babe.
Yeah.
So he'll be like, come and do this. I'm like, I'm always just Kitty. But
Louis,
Louis,
I always call you by her.
Yeah.
And then, it's weird, strange.
so pretty much you'll respond to anything.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
pretty much what you say.
Oi!
Mate. Yeah,
slag. Yeah, sexy lady
Sexy.
over there.
Yeah.
That's what
I'm
we're going
gorgeous.
for.
Get over here.
Okay.
Move this mic. Hang on a sec.
Can take me out for dinner after.
The mic is keeping you in your chair. It's like a safety zone.
It's keeping
That's why I
Kurt
put it
safe.
this side of me. That'll be a
Please
barrier.
don't mind me.
Making me sweat.
I know, I'm sweating.
Guys, what have you been up to? Tell us what's going on in your lives. How's life?
Oh, well, we've just been for a salad. Busy. Do you know, this year, like 2022, I feel like was off the back of Drag Race. It was all those tours and, you know, what do you call it? PAs? Is that what you call it?
Yeah,
Personal appearances.
Yes, yeah.
So I think last year I did maybe like 4 or 5 tours. You know, they could have been really short. We toured together.
Yeah.
Whereas this year feels a lot different. It feels like I'm doing the things I want to do this year.
That's quite nice then, actually.
Yeah, so it's great. I feel much healthier and like just better about everything this year.
So actually, talking about that, like coming off the show, because you were both season 3 of RuPaul's Drag Race, both finalists, both absolutely
Finalists.
Genuinely,
Emphasis on fine.
I've watched a couple of clips. I'm not gonna lie.
But did you prefer to be like, obviously season 1 was like kind of it suddenly hit home.
Yeah.
And by season 3 everybody's like, okay, we know it's coming
We
back.
know what
like,
to expect.
We know what to
Yeah.
expect. Was that nicer having that feeling in the UK more so? Obviously worldwide, like it's a cult show.
It was
People watch them.
so tricky because we followed on from season 2, which was so massive because of the lockdowns. It was literally on the television while we were in.
And also because we were
doing it.
filming like in lockdown, so it was like there was nothing else going on in the world. It was like all we had to focus on.
Did you have a COVID marshal with a 2-meter stick?
Yeah.
It was so
the
fun.
COVID marshal fell asleep. Do you remember when he fell asleep?
No.
He fell asleep in the room. We were like, "Who's snoring?" And it was the COVID marshal. We were like, "Oh my god!" Do you remember that? He was so funny. The little COVID marshal. He always had his little thing on, and he
I
loved
remember
it.
him.
He loved it.
It was very camp, yes.
Yeah, really camp. And then
Yeah.
one day he came in and he brought all his trauma. He saw all of us on Drag Race sharing our trauma, and he was like, "My husband's just left me, and this has just happened." And then that day in the car park of Manchester Studios, his car got backed into.
I mean, I don't remember any of this.
You love it. We were all there just like, we've not got COVID. So winner,
I don't remember this at all, but the things you remember are very different to the things I remember. The stories are told very differently.
So what do you remember?
I don't remember any of that. I do remember vaguely what the guy looked like. That's about it.
Okay.
Hairy. But yeah, like going back
Quite
to...
gorgeous, actually.
Was he? He wasn't gorgeous.
Yeah, but what if he watches this?
Slim pickings, because we were in a bubble. We were
So you were getting real close up to his COVID stick then.
Real close.
It was
would be like,
really tough though, because we weren't able to do anything freely.
Yeah,
We weren't allowed to
yeah.
go to the toilet for like freely. We had to wear these stupid masks,
oh
like
my
these,
God, yeah.
these like.
The
Because
plastic
we couldn't
face.
wear
Yeah.
like normal
Because of
masks.
makeup, you were
Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
just had like...
So you guys, you couldn't literally get close to each other at all doing the show then? You
We
couldn't
could on the show.
On the
On
show, we
the
could. 'cause-
show, you
and
know.
the other contestants, we were a bubble.
Yeah.
So we
it
were
worked,
allowed
yeah.
to like touch and hug, but like all the guest judges had to be like 2 meters.
Yeah.
Rue was always 2 meters
Do you
away.
feel like it's slightly took a bit of the positivity away from the show that you were doing, or you forgot once you're in character, you're in drag,
just
you forgot about it?
And I think as well, because like it just felt normal and it felt like amazing to be able to be like, oh my God, I'm with these people that I can touch. And like, it was just like, at that time we'd
been in lockdown for about a year at that point.
Yeah.
So we we're kind of
so it was just like, oh my God, we can touch people. We're in a bubble. We're good. We're safe.
Yeah.
So
With consent. Touch
Yeah.
with consent.
Famously.
Consent is sexy.
Yeah.
I did celebrity dating to be fair throughout lockdown, and that was one of the biggest and best things.
How did you go on a date?
We all
lockdown?
had to isolate. No, we had to become a big bubble. So we all had to do it in a house.
The bigger bubble.
We did it in a big £30 million mansion, and we all had to just stay in there, sleep together, and everything. It's great.
I bet. Lucky bubble.
But what I was saying anyway before all that was when you were in season 3, but when you came off and you said like this year you've been able to do a lot more things you want to do. When you came off, did you feel like you couldn't do the things you wanted to do? Everything just came in and you were taking the biggest opportunities, or could you be quite selective with what you were doing?
I mean, I didn't really want to be selective. I wanted to do as much as I could because, you know, we got to the final, so everyone wanted us. So, like, if someone wanted to book us, and I'll go there.
Yeah.
As long as I can fit
I
it
just
in.
remember thinking, this is all so new. And, like, I'd never done anything like reality TV or, like, Drag Race or anything like that before. So I was just like, I just want to, like, be a big sponge and just absorb every opportunity and, like, say yes to everything.
Big sponge.
Yeah, before.
Yeah, no, like getting the opportunity to go and tour Australia, which I did, I think last June. Amazing opportunity just to go by myself and headline in 4 different bits of Australia. It was so good, but it was so tiring.
How did that come about? Tell me that. How did
they just approached
literally
management, and just said, "We want to take you on tour." So I was like, "Okay," but like. Me being me, I was like, why do they?
There's a ghost in the corner of the room. It's Adam.
I got paid for that one. I had
Nobody else did.
I definitely had imposter syndrome going to Australia just on my Todd.
Yeah.
Like being recognised in Melbourne, I was like, how do you know who I am on the other side of the world? It's really strange.
Quite nice though.
It was great, but it's weird. I feel a huge amount of pressure myself to go by myself somewhere because I never celebrate my birthday. I get anxious about my own birthday, let alone being a headliner. Like I find it very strange still.
Okay, so say you've got your characters that are so developed. Like, at what point do you feel like your character's got to, this is where I feel like in my drag career, like how do you go from like zero to hero? Where'd you start? Where'd you be like this is my name?
Well, we got asked this like when you apply for Drag Race, they're always like, well, where does the character
journey?
begin? Yeah. Where do you find your character? For me personally, I was always like, I don't really have a character. It doesn't really matter if I'm in drag or out of drag. I'm the same.
Yes.
I just have a wig on my head.
Yeah.
And I feel like being in drag, I don't know, it just gives you like permission to be that extra bit cheeky, that extra bit like
more outrageous.
Yeah, that people like sort of accept. Whereas if you do half the stuff we do in drag, I'm like, oh my God, we get booted out of places.
And I think people see us and expect it. So like you almost have to deliver what they expect.
Yeah,
100%.
They want a bit of cheekiness.
But you know your performances on stage, like when you go in, let's say not on RuPaul's, when you're doing your tours or different things like this, how'd you come up with the choreography? How'd you come up with the outfits? And how long does it take you to do all of this?
Do you know, a lot of it depends on like, if we know, because we just did a Christmas tour last Christmas. And so it's like, okay, well, we know we need Christmas outfits.
How did
so
it all
what
go?
can we
Was it
get? Yeah, it was fun, really fun. And then like trying to work out numbers between, because it was just the two of us, it was like working out like, okay, well, hang on. Like, what numbers could we do? What's going to work in like...
And even like how the concept or the storyline of the show would go. Like we came up with that together, didn't we? So that would just be us voice noting because we chat all the time. And I think one day I was like, oh, what about if we do this, like this idea? And then from that we just developed a whole thing.
And then just like sort of snowballed from there. So it is like, and like down to like choreography, it's like, thank God we've got our Uncle Nick.
No, but also you're luckily we're both musical theatre trained people, so we both can move.
That's one thing I wanted to talk about because like, you see certain drag queens, and I think people kind of expect it to just be kind of what you said, throw a wig on and kind of go. Whereas within your aspects, both of you are fully trained, and I think that's one thing that I appreciate. Like coming into a skill, you can tell the people that have put that time and effort into the art form.
Do you know what as well? You can tell a mile off. This is no shade to anyone, but people start doing drag and they're like, I'm a dancing queen. And it feels like if you say that you're a dancing queen, that's like the easy option because you can like anyone can dance in their heads, and it's like, but you can tell a mile off, oh my god, I'm Shirley Ballas, but you can look at the choreography that they're doing and you think like,
you see that pull them on and it's just not there.
Literally,
that,
I remember there was one queen.
What a sickle foot is.
There was one queen that came up to me.
a sickle a mile off. I'm like, oh no.
And this queen was like, I've just learned that after you perform, you should stretch because it stops you getting like tight. It's like,
Rewind.
and before as well. Oh my god, like wow, that GCSE in dance is doing you well, honey.
Before it starts.
Literally, fair. You were never a good stretcher before you ever danced. I will say that.
Stretching was one of the things that I kind of like. It stressed me out. It's because my brain was so fast, and you got to take your time stretching. I'm not very good at my brain calmly like going through a process. I do find that hard. I'm not gonna lie. I like to be doing something, always moving.
Do you know the costumes and stuff, the outfits? Do you make them yourselves? Got to ask that.
Oh my
god, no.
Absolutely.
Oh, I was really
God, no.
going to say,
Imagine I sat at home like a seamstress.
No, I sometimes do because we had to make an outfit on the show, but it was out of unconventional materials.
That's sort of why I was asking.
how big
show,
So
you
like
have to make
we learn how to use a sewing machine.
Yeah.
Before, like, if you're clever, you learn how to use a sewing machine before you go on.
I always get this when somebody goes on to RuPaul's in specific, and they go, well, "I can't sew," or "I can't do."
Oh
this.
my
I'm
god!
like, you've
Like,
applied
the show's been
for
around
a
for
show.
years.
You know what's
You know
coming.
it's gonna happen.
Like, there's a door. Just go.
It's like turning up to an audition and not being able to dance or sing. It's like, what's the point?
It literally every single.
I've tried it once.
And you're doing a great job.
Went to a singing one, couldn't sing at all at the time,
But it's like there's been so many seasons of Drag Race. It's been around for years.
Literally.
Everyone knows that there's going to be a sewing challenge. So why would you not learn to thread a sewing machine? Why would you not?
'Cause it's not hard, really.
No, also, it's
really
like
not
blag it. If you don't know what you're doing, like, oh my god, I'm the biggest blagger in the world.
Yeah.
I remember when we were doing the sewing challenge, I made my little dress thing, and then I was like, oh, it needs a zip. I don't know how to do a zip, but I was like talking to Charity, and I was like, oh, can you just put one in mine for me? And then literally got her to do it for me. I'm like, thank God.
Yeah.
So that's what a great leader does. They delegate.
Delegate. That's it.
Yeah, no, we don't make our own outfits.
Literally, I'm there like, can you just go and do this for me, darling? The manager of the piece.
At this point, we know so many designers where we can just go, can you just make me something? They've got our measurements, you just whack it out.
Have you got to, obviously at the start, you had to pay for all your stuff. Has it got to a point now where perhaps you're getting deals and different things like this so you can promote them and actually
You still have to pay, but then it's like you scratch
Yeah.
my back, I scratch yours. Like, we help them out.
Exactly.
We wear the clothes.
What roughly is the price for like the outfits? Because the
It
glamorous
depends.
thing.
It can really, really differ.
And also, it depends on like stupid things. Like if you want like the expensive stones, if you want expensive
you gotta have a
feathers.
sorority.
Exactly.
Exactly. But it's like all those things.
it can range literally from like £100 to like £3,000.
Yeah.
Like,
Wow.
so,
And the
so
same
big.
with like wigs. Like you can buy a wig off Amazon, but then if you want like,
I always think it's on the wig side. Like, how'd you get the wig so like looking so fake? I know that's probably the wrong
looking
word.
so
like,
real. You
So
mean?
real.
Yeah.
No, so real.
No, but it's like
How'd you make it look so shit?
this is supposed to be a good
Great acts, but I mean, shit wigs.
But like,
So fake.
Savage AJ. We want them to come back on, you know.
but how does Rue get the hair to stay so erect?
So erect.
There?
Lots of back curve,
Little
lots of
Viagra.
hairspray.
A bit of blood
A bit of
pills.
Viagra.
I just don't get it.
it literally, it's just a lot of like teasing and hairspray and.
It's synthetic hair as well, so it's not real.
Oh yeah,
usually.
for Ruse as well, because Ruse is so like structured that it's all synthetic.
It's just
whereas
plastic.
like
So you
wear,
can
like,
melt it
human
into
hair.
place, basically, can't you, with a hairdryer?
Basically, yeah.
That's what I meant to say in the most amazing, great
use.
Like it's
look
synthetic.
fake.
It's fake.
You're
It's
not
like,
welcome back on
animated.
our
Yeah.
It's cartoon.
Like
It's like a
cartoony.
caricature of herself, isn't it? Like
It's
that's
hard.
what I was trying to say.
What do you
Fine,
prefer, synthetic hair or real?
Synthetic for me.
I prefer human.
I like synthetic because you can literally shove it in a suitcase after.
And you don't
Okay.
need
And
to
when you get it
worry.
out, it pretty much looks the same. You just have to give it a brush.
Also, you could
But
do
with-
that with a.
No, but with human, you have to keep curling it and keep
I know,
styling
but don't you
it.
think like when you put it on and then you're like, oh, I'm like, I'm a girl.
No. No, I don't think that about you when you put hair on.
Just a wig, no makeup or anything. Like you got to stitch a body.
We got to talk about like sheer timing and prep that goes into it. Because I remember when we would do dance competitions or shows, they'd be like, "Oh, can you turn up to do like 2 dances for the wedding? We'll give you like 50 quid for your petrol." And then it's like, "What? No, rewind. Like,
Yeah.
you've put years of blood, sweat, and tears into this character, into this, your hair, your makeup. Like, what is the timing for you to do your makeup before you even start a show?
For me, I've got it down quite quick now. I can do it like 45 minutes.
Oh, that's quick.
Slap it on, yeah.
That is good.
Yeah.
You can see it as well.
And that's why your wig's crap.
No, I mean, to get fully ready, hair.
Oh, fully ready, like body
like
and everything.
everything now is probably like 2 hours, 2.5 hours, I'd
Yeah,
say.
because I remember doing Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. I did. I was doing Burn the Floor as well, and then they asked me to do the ensemble in that, and then they asked me to sing as well. But then they took my mic off me straight away.
Yeah, why is
just turn it down?
It was very bad. But I remember all of the Queens stuff were taking 2, 3, 3.5 hours, depending on
Didn't
what
they
they were
have the
doing.
little masks in that?
So we did. We actually did. I didn't want to
yeah.
give the secret away, but we had the mask that you could slip on and off, nice and
Yeah.
fast and easy for all the ensemble. But for the main leads, they
Yeah.
They had to.
They had to
sort of-
actually do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
It's like when Bianca was in Jamie. Bianca Del Rio was the drag queen part. I can't remember the character.
Yeah, I know what you
In
mean,
Everyone
yeah.
Talk
Can't
About It. And she has
remember
like
either.
16 minutes to go from like
Yeah.
being a man, like male presenting, to then go like into full.
They're great. The
drag.
masks are, but I don't think they do look as good. But they are great.
Yeah,
they
yeah.
do
Oh,
work.
God, for, like,
Yeah.
quick as well.
That's
It
it.
depends. Like Kitty, you kind of shave a bit your eyebrows off, don't you? I keep my own eyebrows, so I have to start by gluing eyebrows down,
And that takes
covering
When you
up.
say glue, you
Like-
mean like Pritt stick?
Yeah, basically, like the purple version of a Pritt stick. It's better
like
than
the
the Pritt
invisible
stick.
one.
So I have to glue my eyebrows down to start.
shave.
Color correct my beard once I've shaved. So like I have to do a lot of prep before.
And you're
I
quite
And just
dark
like
hair as
shave it
well.
off
Dark
and just
hair.
redraw
Yeah.
it on.
Kitty
It's
gets
a
the
bit
razor
easier
out.
for Kitty.
Done.
Yeah.
You're there with like the powder
I
pressing it
know.
in.
On Drag Race, I remember I was still color correcting. You'd basically
Oh my god,
finish
literally, I
your
was
whole
laying there like
face.
lipstick, like, and we're done. And it's like,
Stepping on.
Hadn't even started, yeah.
yeah, wild.
So it differs between what, like, and as well, if people do more cosmetics, like lips, for example, they don't have to like overline and stuff. You just
Yeah,
put
of
a bit
course.
lip on. Yeah.
What's right? I've got to ask. What's one of the highlights of your careers, both of you?
Ooh. For me, I love doing Death Drop on the West End. That was always like one of my dreams, to do like a West End show.
Because it was West End.
Because it was
specifically.
West End.
Yeah.
And like, I remember when I was at college, at drama school, they would be like, what parts do you want to play? And I would be like, I want to be like, I would always be like girl parts. I'd be like, I don't want to be like a policeman or like a boring boy part. Like, oh, that's so boring. So it was always like the female parts that I was like drawn to. And then the fact that I got to do like a female role like on the West End and it was the lead, I was like, oh my God, this is like just ticking all the boxes for me. It was amazing. I loved it.
Amen. Congratulations. Yeah, I'll take that.
A lot of the things that I'm going to be most proud of, I think, are coming out this year. Things that you've not even seen yet. So, like, I got a tiny part in a film that comes out in October called Some Other Hood, which is really cool. I think I'm maybe the first, at least UK drag queen to be in a feature film.
Oh, my God,
Congratulations.
And
yeah.
then other bits that you'll see later in the year, like, are really, really cool stuff. And like, I've worked with some really amazing charities this year, like Copperfield Breast Cancer Charity. So like,
Did you do the walk with?
yeah, so I did the
G
100k
Fletcher, yeah.
trek thing, and I'm about to work with Alzheimer's Society. So like, just using my platform to like help charities as well, I think is
the
really
best
important
thing,
to me.
yeah.
Yeah.
Very self-rewarding as well, that really.
Yeah, 'cause it's
Because you
just-
are helping others and
It was
feels good to
really
do
hard
that.
with my mum's breast cancer because I couldn't be there for like all of her treatment, so I felt really bad and really guilty. So like, I feel like this year I'm really giving back to, you know, the cause and raising a load of money. So it feels
And it's
feels
also,
good.
like,
That was a good achievement for
realizing
me.
that doing a program like Drag Race gives us a platform where people like us, like 10 years ago, wouldn't have had a voice. It's like, it's just giving a voice and using the voice, which is so important.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think one thing that I was speaking about with Curtis earlier was kind of like mainstream media being one thing, but the way that kind of your art form has become in the past 5 years has developed so fast and
Leaps and
it's
bounds.
and it's really been put in the forefront of people's faces. Like, how does that feel when it comes to you've kind of put all this time and effort into something that you don't know in the UK, like
No.
so much is going to become like a career for you, but you know you can in other countries, maybe more so America, but like seeing it happen and it come to fruition,
And
like
actually making
even
a
through
career
2 years of
from
COVID, like
Yeah.
it's amazing. How's that feel for
I just
you?
remember like when I first started doing drag, it was like there was no Drag Race UK. There was
No.
Drag Race US, obviously, because that's been around forever. But there was no like option of like one day I'll go on Drag Race, and then like I'll be doing TV and I'll be doing personal appearances. It's like that never even crossed my mind. I was happy doing.
You thought I'd just been Soho.
Yeah, and
cool
I was
show.
like, oh my god, I can do a show in Soho. I can sing some fun songs. I can like have a drink with the audience, and like that's what I was so attracted to when like starting to do and like the wigs, the hair, the makeup, everything. That was what I like first drew me to it. I was never thinking like this could become what it is now, and like this could lead to where it is now. You're drunk.
I'm drunk.
That glass of wine at lunch has gone straight through her.
It was so emotional, and then it's like a comedy sketch straight away. Anyway, Nick, how do you
smell
feel?
the wine coming
For
off
me,
you?
for me, it was such a
Grigio there.
It's Sauvignon.
I'm bright red now. Great. For me, it was such a whirlwind because I'd barely started drag before the lockdown, and then at the end of the lockdown, I basically went on Drag Race and went for it. So like I blagged my way through Drag Race, and I started drag in 2019. By the beginning of 2021, I was on Drag Race.
How did you start? How did somebody go, you know what, I want to be a drag queen?
I've always watched Drag Race, so I always loved it.
You're a fan.
Massive fan of Drag Race. Because of the nature of my job working in the West End, I never really went and saw any drag in Soho or anything because it was always too late or whatever, or I just couldn't be asked and went home. You know what it's like when you're doing 8 shows a week.
Yeah.
You just want to go home.
Oh, you've done it.
And then whilst I was at the Book and Woman, they did like a charity drag night once a year. So I basically got involved with that.
Yeah.
I did it maybe once a year. And then 2019.
She's slurring her words. She's slurring her words.
I've been in the freezer for years. It's 2019. When 2019 came, I was at work and I thought I can start trying to do drag because I owned a wig and I owned some makeup. So I thought, therefore, I'm entitled to be a drag queen now.
But also, she had trained in dance, so she could call herself a dancing queen.
Yeah, or a West End Wendy.
A West End Wendy.
I have worked at the West End. But yeah, no, it's kind of that was my my way in. It was very different. It was just.
So it's happened so fast for you then?
Yeah, really
That's
fast.
crazy.
So a lot of the time, again, that imposter syndrome is always there. Even on Drag Race, I felt like, what the fuck am I doing here?
In the aspect of that, you felt like you weren't confident in your skills, or what? Or
I'm
you didn't know
confident.
what your character was.
Yeah, exactly. I knew my skill set. I knew I went into every challenge.
trained,
I've got no idea what this is. I even got the rules of what's.
Curtis went through all the shows you'd been in, and I was like, bloody
You've
hell.
done quite a few West End things.
Yeah, I've done
done
some
every
good
like
stuff.
a lot.
But at the beginning of lockdown, I was doing Hairspray, the musical, and then it got cut short, and then I never went back. But I knew, me being me, you give me a challenge and I'll rise to it. But even Snatch Game, I didn't understand the rules properly.
Do you think...
I still don't understand.
I didn't realise...
And can we just explain what that is? Snatch Game is on RuPaul. It's one of the episodes.
Yeah.
It's one of the kind of quite... Without it, it wouldn't be RuPaul.
It's like one of those iconic challenges that everyone's like, if you get to Snatch Game, you're
so
half dead.
imagine blankety blank, but with celebrity impersonations.
Yeah.
To make the judge laugh. But I thought that you had to just be a real person. That you know, like people do characters and then they just call themselves the actor's name. So I made my choices so small because I didn't realise that. But yeah.
You were great though.
Oh, I know.
So funny.
Yeah.
So funny.
But it was so scary because with that one, I thought I'm either going to be really good or really shit.
Yeah.
Thank
It's
God.
okay because there were other people that were
Yeah,
really
luckily. Didn't have to worry. I mean, Kitty just
we were literally
took
just
that
sat
for the
there
team.
like, oh, you're going for that as an answer. Okay.
You know what cracked me up actually? The one where I don't know what it was called, but it's like you're in like a window and you were the builder.
The dating.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh my God!
When you
everyone
came
was
up-
builders. They told us it was like what? It was like
A
a
mask
mask
look.
look.
Yeah.
And it had like examples, and it was like think like a builder, and like everyone was like, "Oh, I'll do a builder."
Yeah.
Like literally everyone apart from
Amazon Prime
Veronica.
builder, yeah.
Veronica, who was in like leather
Harnesses.
We were like, "Oh, did we get
You
different
cracked
drinks?"
me up with
Yeah.
a high-pitched
That was
voice when you
yeah.
did it.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Oh my
Out
God!
of the blue. I loved it actually.
When you get them characters, you just kind of casually some night out, you're like, oh, this character appears. Like, well, how do you develop these characters? Or do you just sit at home in a silent room, just being like,
Staring at a wall.
just like
Rocking back
Sounds
and
like
forth.
me. Yeah. I don't know. I think I don't know.
It just like sort of happens. It's like if you're talking to like a friend or something, then you like I always do impressions of people, and I'll just be there like, and then it'll be like come from that. Or it's like, oh my god, like it's stupid little like things that like you pick up on, and then you're like, oh my god, that'd be funny.
And like when we were doing our Christmas tour, for example, or like whatever, in general, we have stupid things that we say like cute as new, cute, and it just develops.
But it's like silly things
something.
like. Do you remember when someone in the audience, we were like, oh, it's a sad girl, there's a sad girl. And but it wasn't a sad girl.
No,
and
because we asked her what her name was.
Her name, no, that was it. We were like, what's your name? And she went, Danielle.
And I went, sad girl?
So now we're like, hello, sad girl. It's like anyone.
No, because now it's code. So if we want to call someone, if someone's being a bit like mopey drawers, we say, oh, she's a bit of Danielle today.
Danielle's in the room.
Oh, she's a Danielle.
Well, that's what you get. You know, like you're obviously brothers, I believe.
We are,
and we're basically sisters.
Sister wives.
So like I think we've got the same sort of, you know, you only have to look at
to know what they're thinking.
And when you've done so much together, like you've just said, like one little thing all of a sudden becomes something in your
Yeah,
brain.
yeah.
Especially in a live show.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
like something will happen in a live
Brilliant.
show, and then like we'll like something will happen, and we'll just be there on stage like. And it's like, I know what she's thinking, and I know what she's going to say to that, and it's like, here we go.
And
like,
what's so good about me and Kitty is that we think exactly the same.
Yeah.
But the way we carry ourselves and the way we act is so different.
That's what works so well, because you do have that yin and yang polar opposite, but together it just fires. It is brilliant.
Yeah.
Like,
But you
us
both
in a
come
live
across
show
as
is
very
so
warming
good.
people though as well, which is lovely.
Global warming.
Both of you are warming.
Oh,
people.
yeah.
Nice to be around.
People.
Very warm, very hot.
But I mean, like you're easy to be around. You're good to be around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You draw us in,
Exactly.
whatever you're doing, whether you're in character, whether you're not. It's
Well, we try.
So, yeah.
No, I think one thing Kurt like hit the nail on there for me personally. Like,
he wants
when,
our numbers.
Yeah.
when people do get these like opportunities, people don't like take it as though like seeing like, wow, we're on TV, doing PAs, you've got tours, you're making a living now. Like some people don't appreciate it. It really gets to me when I see somebody in a position they're not very nice, they don't appreciate it, they're not kind to the people that are buying the tickets, and deep down I'm just like, nah, just it infuriates me. But seeing you guys work like in character, out of character, you're always willing to kind of hold up your end of the bargain. It's like an unwritten rule for me personally.
Yeah.
And it's so nice to see.
Do you know what as well? I see like now, like if we go to events or whatever, and I always just think like the waiting staff, and I'm like, I was there like one day doing
100%.
that, and it's like I can never get out of my head like that was me. I was in that position once, and I don't want to be that person that's like, excuse me, I want the wine. Like I'm gonna. I'm like, oh my god, do you need help? Like, what? I'll make your life as easy as possible, please. It's like I feel for you, hun.
And I think people lose sight of who actually pays for us to be at these venues, and it's always the audience. It's always the viewers. So like when we do something like Drag Con, where people come and meet and greet us,
talk about that.
or you know you're doing a gig and there's a meet and greet. People pay to see you and they pay for the meet and greet. Like making time and making sure that they feel like they've had some time with you, because it's very quick. It's probably like 4 minutes, 5 minutes
And
each.
it's so expensive.
I always sometimes very wary if we're doing things like our pantos or our tours and stuff, and we're doing a meet and greet.
Yeah.
They only get 2-3 minutes with you
Yeah.
sometimes. And I'm very much like,
but what we get told is like some people are literally like, snap, next, snap,
Yeah.
next.
And I
I'm
hate
like,
that.
hell no.
I think they
never
paid a
do
lot of
that.
money. 2 minutes even for me is like, it's not enough time.
Also,
you know,
so we did
yeah.
RuPaul's Drag Con in January. It was it the first weekend in January, or first or second?
Something like
This
that,
is
yeah.
the one in the UK.
In the UK.
Because you also went to the one in America.
In LA, yeah. But the one in January, it was like right at the start of the year. So everyone had just had Christmas. We were in a cost of living crisis. It was like one thing after another. And it's like for every single queen you want to meet, it's £15, it's £20. You've got to like hit the minimum spend. And it's like, I remember thinking like, I feel so guilty. Like people are coming saying like, oh, I've got like 2 kids. Like,
but the best have 100 people.
it's like, well, come on, cough up then, mummy. You could afford to be here.
Queuing as well, you know, for me and you, the queues around
Oh
the
my god,
corner.
it was a safety hazard for. They always had to shut down the bloody Excel.
So by the time, you know, they got to you, they've waited a long time, they've paid
and it's like
15, 20 quid.
Yeah, and I'm
So-
just like, well, I'm going to make this like a memorable experience.
And it annoys
for
me when
you.
people are annoyed to be there at a meet and greet, like the actual queen or
Yes.
whoever.
Yeah.
Like they're resentful for being there. I'm like, the only reason you're fucking here is because they watched the show and they want to meet you.
Yeah.
So like, wisen up.
Totally.
Plus, I think like the one thing that's like, it's a great feeling to be there. Like, enjoy it. Like, it's so nice to have that warm energy because you feel like you feel so energized. But yeah, at the end of the day, you are zapped.
Oh,
but,
absolutely. We did 3 days in a row. It was exhausting.
Like,
By
crazy.
the end of the third day, I remember I was meeting people and I was like, "Hi, what's your name?" And they'd say the name and like, "And what's your name?" And it's like,
No, I was saying the same.
I know that,
I was
yeah.
like, "What's your name?" They'd be like, "Dan," and I'd be like, "How'd you spell that?"
and then like D-A-N. I just wanted to make sure because there's lots of funny spellings.
Are you guys dyslexic at all?
I
I'm
am with
dyslexic,
maths,
yeah.
but that's not that
was
doesn't.
something. I don't know. I'm not well.
Like always, no matter what the name is, I'll always ask.
Literally,
even if it is
because it'll go in one ear and out the other, and then you'll be like, "Sorry, how'd you spell your name again?" It's like Anne, A-double-N. You're like, ah.
But then they look at you like you're weird.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, well, if I spell it wrong, you're gonna have a go at me and
Exactly.
ask me to do it again.
I just say I'm dyslexic. It works out as that.
Just say I'm dyslexic and stare at them. Make them feel
Otherwise,
bad.
I'll never come back.
Let's take a moment to thank our sponsor, FINT, the financial investment app. Because, don't overcomplicate it, it's so easy, isn't it?
It really is. Download the app. 3 portfolios to choose from. Get investing.
And from as little as £50 a month, obviously you can do a bit more.
£50 a month, that it?
That's it, Curtis. As little as that.
It's a bargain.
Okay, I want to hear the comparison between England and America. DragCon.
DragCon.
Yes.
Oh my god.
America,
two different
I
worlds.
can't even imagine.
It was.
I mean, for me, it was the clientele that came to my booth was very different. So in the UK, I noticed it was lots of mums and their daughters.
Yeah.
Loads of females. In America, it was loads of gay couples, like male couples.
Okay, yeah.
And I noticed that. I don't know if you noticed that. As well.
Same. From DragCon UK, all the people that come into my booth were like, "I loved your MasterChef," because it was the mums that were coming with their kids. And so it'd be like, "Oh my God, blah, 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 blah." And then
Different viewing audience. Of that
literally.
aspect, yeah.
And then in America, I got people.
No, I just thought it made. But when we've done meet and greets together, and they go, "Oh, Ella, you should have won Drag
Oh my God,
Race."
yeah.
And they
And
go,
we stood here like,
and they go, "Kitty, you should have won MasterChef."
"Oh yeah." It's like, oh, not quite good enough for
Sorry.
Drag Race.
Yeah, no, just made
Still
me
not
laugh.
quite good enough for MasterChef. But in
Kitty's
America,
just making up the numbers.
literally, I'm like she can get through a little while. In America, I got loads of questions about fucking Love Island because I did After Sun, and the amount of people that were like, "We love Love Island UK."
Yes.
And they were just like,
They love it out there.
Oh my God, like literally every single couple. I was like, this, like, what? Oh my God.
I did some other shows as well.
I'm like, what episode?
It was good though. I wasn't sure what to expect in America.
No.
'Cause I've only been to New York like once before, and LA's obviously the other side of the country. Not that that matters, but
Bit of geography for everyone.
it was harder for us to set up our booths because obviously
Yeah.
in the UK we could just bring backdrops and lights and stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas over there we had to go down Santee Alley and buy some cheap fabric, which you hated.
Yeah.
And I like stole some carpet.
There's like little pegs on the wall.
I love it. I go through a market and like, how much is this?
Oh God, we
$5,
went
I'm
there.
gonna give you 4. Yeah. Whereas she was in and out.
I was like in and out. I was like, I found something pink. That'll do. We'll go. Get out.
It's tense.
Literally, I was like, keep the change, tuts. Oh yeah.
But it was an experience.
Oh my God.
I really enjoyed it. I'd like to go back again.
But now that you've both you've made it, you know, you're out there, you're doing fantastic and everything. Do you think about investing with all of like the money that you're making now, the opportunities that are coming up? Do you think about the future still investing and getting into property? I remember you saying earlier and different things like this.
Yeah, well, it's a minefield, isn't it? Because I haven't paid into a pension for years. I've obviously been self-employed since I was 18, and now I'm nearly 35. And when I was in the Western shows, I had pension schemes or whatever.
Yeah.
Now I don't, so I worry about that.
Yeah.
Trying to get my head around being a limited company, I'm like, don't understand it. VAT, and also like I'm lucky enough to own a house already with my boyfriend for about 5 or 6 years. We've owned it, but I would like to invest in property or like stuff like that. But I don't understand
Where to begin?
not only what I'm doing now, but like where to go forward. So
No, I think it's really interesting. Like the simple thing, like the VAT, and then understanding what your corporation tax is, and then taking it out of your company, put it in your personal, and getting taxed again on that, and what you can put through the company. Kind of, there's some grey areas. You can get away with something.
I mean, just before going on to like the houses and stuff, what you're saying after, I feel like we should be taught these things slightly in school. I feel like
Oh my God,
coming on to the end of year 11, or if you're in sixth form,
It's so beneficial.
Them ages that you're about to start your life.
But do you know what? I remember like literally finishing drama school, becoming like self-employed, and then being like, "Oh, you got to do a tax return." I was like, "What?" Like,
I know. No one ever told me.
What is
like,
this? Yeah.
I have to claim like VAT, and I'm like,
Yeah.
no one has ever told us this.
National
no one has
insurance.
Literally, it's like one thing
It's
after
like
another.
at school I learnt about the American West and stuff, and I'm like, why did I need to learn about Buffalo? When I lived in the
production of
UK,
Oklahoma.
well, luckily, I never did Oklahoma.
Battle of Hastings in
But
1066.
it would be good to understand. In my GCSEs, I did business studies for a year before I moved school, and I actually really enjoyed it. But again, I didn't learn anything from it.
I think it's I think it's as simple as the people just need to teach you what tax is, how to get your national insurance number, how to pay a
What's
bill,
a pay slip broken down into? Like,
how to
things.
write your own pay slip, simple things like that. I think just
Well, I
need
think you're
getting
about an
thrown
invoice,
in.
Kurt.
So true.
Exactly, an
Oh my God,
invoice.
but even doing invoices, I remember literally, like when I first started working as a queen, and it was like, right, now I've got to like do invoices. I remember they were like, can you do like a PDF and it's got to have this and this and this. I was just like on Word, like you owe me.
We should learn. I mean, I don't know if they learn how to use their Excel sheets because they're just like something else.
Don't even. That's rocket science.
Not a clue.
That's next level.
I don't even. Like trying to get the box even to write in the box. And like, how do you do it? How many clicks?
Thinking, how do I fit all my writing in that small box?
Yeah, me too. It's a nightmare. But yeah.
That tracks me. I can see Kurt sat at home on laptop getting frustrated. Why is the box not getting bigger?
Why is it only fit in one word in?
But then, when I was at school, we had like basic PCs and everything was like, all the dial-up. So maybe it is better nowadays. I don't know. Do you know?
No,
Well, I
absolutely.
mean,
When it comes down to the education
not
side,
really
like
in education.
VAT and
Yeah.
corporation tax and
I think-
understanding your different tax brackets, which change every year
Yeah.
these days. But no, it's not talked about, and
Never.
it's one thing that we want to do a lot more education side. Just simple things. I say it's simple because it is simple once you understand it. But if you never taught something, you
don't even know
it's
where
not
to
gonna
start.
be. Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Literally a mind.
It's just a life skill that everyone should know.
I think, and
Much
I think
like, being able to check yourself health-wise. Like, you don't get taught that either.
amen.
Speaking
to that,
about
yes,
what you spoke about with the charities, and we were doing randomly lawnmower racing at the weekend.
Oh, gorgeous.
Yes.
But the thing was, it was
Ride-on ones.
Yeah, ride-on.
I used to do that in my
yeah.
garden.
Wow.
We used to have
Awesome.
2 of them in my garden, like where I grew up, and we used to race. I mean,
It was
Wasn't
insane.
that much.
And they tweaked them, so you're not 35 miles an hour down the
You
straight.
daredevil.
crazy.
Anyway, it was all
Crazy girl. Crazy.
the point of the conversation
Yes,
was
carry on.
it was all for prostate cancer, and it was talking
Yeah.
about how to check yourself and like. But when we do more and more things with different charities, whether it be for ourselves, we're doing a lot with mental health charities at the minute. Like you talk about it as though like when you're talking, you're also learning at the same time,
Yeah.
and that's one thing that's very rewarding to use our platforms to educate others, but at the same time, you're continuously educating yourself about these kind of scenarios that you kind of think, well, that's not going to affect me. Like that, I'm not going to be in that situation. Then you realize, well, actually, unfortunately, you are in that situation,
Yeah.
or somebody that's in your
Someone
close
you know.
circle is in that situation, which is scary.
I think they should bring a lot more education and all of these things in school. Do with finance, with checking yourself, men, women, for everything really.
Absolutely.
I think
Oh
there's a
my
whole
God.
missed element of
But
things that
also,
go on.
sorry, just going back to like the school thing, I remember like as a queer person, we were taught nothing about like sex in school, like literally
But that's because
nothing.
it's Section 28, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, that wasn't even there when I was at school.
Are you
but it
sure?
was still like the back end of it.
Are you sure it wasn't?
What would
You're
you
not
go
much
out?
younger
Wait, how
than
old are
me.
you, Kate?
31.
And I'm nearly 35. I can't remember when it ended,
Didn't
but
end
it
in
was...
2005.
don't
Because
know.
all I got taught in school was
You
how
would
to
have
get a
been at
girl
school still.
pregnant. And that's not been very useful to me.
No.
Many people have tried to get me pregnant, not successfully so far.
Yeah, there was no... I mean, because of Section 28,
Yeah.
which would have impacted most of your
Yeah, of
school.
course.
There was no mention of any gay relationships, no LGBTQ plus like there should be now.
Mm-hmm.
So like I went through school not even knowing what gay was. I just thought it was
Yeah.
wrong. Shouldn't do it. Gross. I
To
still
be
agree
fair,
with
it
it.
We'll still agree with that.
But come slightly on what maybe a bit personal, but like how did your families like when you said, okay, like a couple of years ago, I'm going to be a drag queen now, and I'm suddenly going to be on TV, and how did your friends and family take that? Like,
I mean, my family didn't care at all. because
Yeah.
I've done a job where I've been dressed as a pig, like walking through London, and they're like, cool.
Lovely parents.
My friends, I didn't tell anyone that I was going on it. I kept it a secret, but then my best friend sort of found out via online. What was it? Like Reddit and all that shit. And then they were just really excited. So
yeah, like literally, I remember when I told my mum, I was like, I'm going to do this like drag gig. My mum was like, that makes sense. Like literally not a shock at all. But I was like, from like day dot, I was there like in like a little Tinkerbell costume. Like my older brother had like a Peter Pan costume, and I used to just take the top part and not put the trousers on, show off the pins, you know, age 4. But I'd be like, now I'm Tinkerbell. It's like, this is not a surprise at all.
I retract that 4. I retract that because you said you were 4. That's gross.
Oh my God. Cancelled.
Okay, actually, funny enough, you just said cancelled and cancel culture. Do you ever worry about in your scenarios, like, say you're at a gig?
Great question.
Like, you're going to a live gig, and like, if I want to go to a comedy show, like, I'm prepared to be insulted.
But you can't say.
But these days, I feel like you'd go to. Everything's removed from the internet, even from Little Britain and different things. So some things I agree with, some things I don't agree with. But the comedy side of your act, would you class it and the comedy side of being able to be like, say as it is, like, or do you want people to sign a waiver when they walk in and be like,
are you
prepared to be
afraid
insulted?
of what you're saying?
I think people, when they come to a drag show, they sort of know, like, right, okay, well,
yeah, they should do anyway.
I've seen what could happen.
Well, they soon realise.
Yeah, literally. But then also, there is like a million different types of drag. Not every type of drag queen is the same. They don't do the same thing. So you get some that do like Disney princessy, like, and they do their little like reading to children and stuff, and that's not a bit of me. That's not why I started drag. But people do that, and they love it. But then it's like you get other queens that are doing like burlesque and setting themselves on fire, and it's like, I'm not doing that either. I'll just park and bark. I'll stand on a stage and I'll talk.
One of my favourite things is audience interaction. And I think it is good to just let whatever's in your head come out. Yeah. And they should expect it if they've watched Drag Race. Like if they would have watched us doing that reading comedy, what was it called? The roast thing.
Oh, the roast.
Which is basically offending everyone in the audience.
Everyone.
I've never had any problems with it. I think we have to be more, I find that I have to be more careful online because I think there's a differentiation.
Context
of
very different.
Being a drag queen online and being a drag queen in real life. That you can't be as cutting online.
People read words differently than you say.
Yeah, it's like in a performance scenario,
it doesn't
you can
roll
be
over
like,
so well into black.
Oh,
and
you
white.
got a berry on. You know, you look French. You know, like,
she's xenophobic.
Yeah. Whereas online, you if you write something, it's there forever, and people can take it the wrong way.
And you don't know how people are going to take it like out of context and everything.
So it's a weird
I think
one.
it's like you're obviously aware. Like I know, like if you're doing a show, it's like you might think something. You're like, oh, maybe don't say that.
But it's taste levels as well.
Yeah.
And I think we're pretty good at not going too far to offend
You're
someone.
right on the line, you guys.
Yeah, you
It's
have
like,
to. You have to
you
get it
dance
right.
on the line. You don't step over the line.
Yeah.
Let's just remind what we said. So when we choreographed the final of series 1, and I've just said I've used the word guys because I say in northern terms. So I say like guys as in like
I say guys as women and
guys, women, men. I just say
people.
guys.
Yeah.
And I had in-ears, and he said, "Can you just do the thank you again and send them off?"
Don't say guys.
And he didn't say. I did it 3 times, and he didn't say in my. And then I came off and realised what he afterwards. I was like, because obviously he's American, we're English, I'm Northern, he's wherever he's from.
Guy and girl. Yeah.
For me, guys, it's a term of like a group, and I remember it come back. But he was obviously too nervous to say the word. You can't say guys or you can't say girls. It was just refused to say anything online. I just do it again. But I'd say the exact same thing because I'm just that sort of person that will do it identical every time.
Yeah.
Oh,
you should have just said, and then you could have just done it differently.
Yeah, I was like, just tell me, guys.
But also,
guys.
I call everyone girl. I'm like, come on, girls. And like the amount of times I've said like my brothers, and they're like, I'm a boy. It's like, I know, but it's like saying like mate, like hun, like.
Come on, chaps.
Come on, lads, shall we go?
Right, chaps, let's get on with it. Hip hop.
Okay, so you've got your characters. How do you feel like you'll develop in the next couple of years? Like your characters, will they stay the same, or do they develop as you as a person? Like,
Right, over time. When like as you develop as a person, like even like just looking at the makeup side of it. For me, if I look back at like pre-Drag Race or even Drag Race. It's like you look at like what we were presenting on the main stage and now I'm like, as if I thought that was the one. Like, that's awful.
Definitely. I had a massive actual binge on season 3 the other day. I mostly watched my own bits, of course. And I realised how much I've grown since then and like what my taste levels were.
Your journey is
changed.
So short.
It's been short, yeah, but like my makeup's got better. Like I used to be really garish and like I definitely toned it down and I didn't really know what my drag was or what I could do. So like I feel like as we go along, we're going to change
like you become
and
more
develop.
refined over time, and you find what works for you, what you don't like, what tricks you want to pick up.
And that's what's good. And the good thing is, people like me and Kitty have the opportunity, maybe one day, to go on, All Stars or something like that, and then they'll get to see like a
progression.
A progression.
Yeah.
Not a new you, but
2.0.
No, yeah.
2.0, yeah.
It's like every day is just like a continuation.
Do you obviously within RuPaul, like the platform's insane, it's massive, but you have your own platform, so people like buy into you as the person. Do you feel that like that trust that you've built within your audience is it's a positive for you or a negative? You feel like, oh, what happens if I do something wrong? Or does it become quite anxious?
Scared of losing?
Yeah.
Scared of like...
I don't know. I feel quite positive. I feel like quite supported by it. And like the platform that Drag Race and everything else has given me, I feel like, well, they're following me for a reason. They're like invested. They're interested. There's like a love there.
Yeah, definitely. I feel
grateful,
supported by
like
it.
so grateful for them.
Because obviously you've turned yourselves into a business. You are a business.
Yeah.
Walking, talking
business.
you
Oh
literally
my God,
are.
totally.
How does merch do for you on tours and stuff? Is it a good business?
Yeah,
tool for
very
you?
good.
Yeah.
Well.
Well. Is it?
Well. Do you remember the...
No, I don't know what you're saying. But
Or does some things do well? And...
Yes. When they all took a massive cut. And they didn't tell us about it. Oh my God,
yeah.
it was so annoying.
we did a tour last year. Not our Christmas tour,
Not
but another tour.
another tour we did together.
And we did merch, obviously,
And
providing
they were like,
merch.
get like t-shirts, do a couple of prints, do la. So we did it all.
And then after the fact, we learned that, how much did we lose? Like
It was
40%?
No, it was like 60 something.
We lost so much money in commissions and VATs and this
So
and that.
my first tour that I did all these meet and greets, like, stupid 100, 150 a night.
Yeah.
And we were only having like 500 seater.
Oh my God.
And I walked away with like pennies.
Oh yeah, actually, you learned a lot, didn't you? From that
I
first one?
lost
Oh
my...
yeah.
I lost
I remember
it.
just being like messaging
The
them,
camera
being like,
person
can I have
made
the
more
breakdown?
money than me just taking photos of me having photos of people. And I was like,
Yeah.
I was never again. Never
We
again.
lost about half of what we should have.
It was such... I just remember like messaging being like, you've done this wrong. Like,
But
this
how do you
isn't
I
feel
right.
presume you've learned from that. Though,
And
like
the-
you.
oh,
you-
yeah.
But you've come into this new,
it's-
like people, promoters and other people. We won't get into some
They
things,
try
I
and
know, but
they try and use you.
how, like, you don't know anything. You're being used and abused to a certain point, and then you learn, and then hopefully you learn and go forward. But that feeling when you do get used and abused for the first time, it's infuriating, one thing, but it's just upsetting because you think that people are good because you're a good person. You expect other people to be good. Because we work together, me and Curtis, like it's 50-50. Like I end up doing more work than Curtis sometimes, but he always knows that he doesn't have to worry that the money's going to arrive or that whatever it is. Like it's just annoying when sometimes you don't have, you have that good, you want people to be good.
Yeah.
And it doesn't happen.
And you have
It's
to
a hard way.
trust people because you think they're in it for the right reason.
Yes.
And annoyingly, drag is a relatively new concept in this country too, in terms of what
On
we
this
do.
level, yeah.
So it's very easy for people to take advantage of you, and there's multiple people doing that right now who are still operating. So it does feel like a massive kick in the teeth, especially for me who was a professional actor for like 13, 14 years with an agent who was trustworthy. I instantly thought everyone's going to be trustworthy.
Yeah.
And then it's just like you like realize,
And you get companies taking half of your profits off you and stuff like that. It's just annoying.
It's crazy. But do you know what? Like coming out the other side of something like that, now I'm so on it when it comes to like chasing payments. I keep a track on like everything.
Yeah, but you note
I'm
section
like,
full.
Yeah, literally. I'm like, I need to see the contract. I need to see like the fee in writing. I need to know exactly how much I'm getting. Are we getting VAT on top of that? Is the VAT going to come out after? Like what's going on? I'm so on it now because I'm just like so like burnt from being like like,
and I think it's
trusting.
important to like people to hear that
horrible
from
to
people
hear
like
that
yourselves
as
at
well.
the top, because you're at the top. Like, imagine when that filters down to the people that are truly getting walked all over. And I think one thing for us, whenever we do pantomimes, and we always do with different companies, always say, like, if you're the person at the top setting the precedent, if you're the person saying, I'm going to turn up early, I leave right at the end of the day, we work hard, we know our script, then everybody below us who feels like they've got a little bit of a hoo-ha, I'm
Chip
good,
on the shoulder, they
then
can't.
chips and remove them short straight away, because they see the headline working that hard, they have to work that hard, if not, they should be working harder. I think that's one thing we've always brought up
That's
a great
work
way to
hard.
Yeah.
Like,
Give it
if you
100%
don't,
if you're going to do it. Or don't do it.
Well, you know, sometimes in the West End, for example, the ensemble will be earning £700 a week. The lead will be on like £5,000 a week.
Yeah.
So I always expect the lead to be the lead, to
Pull the group
at least
together.
you know, bring in some treats for the rest of the ensemble who are on so much less wage than them and doing way more work. No, not for everyone. Like Elphaba sings, you know, a fucking heart out. But like someone like the Wizard who comes on in Act 2 or whatever, at least
is one song.
bring in some donuts once a week and like show like that. I've worked with some amazing
you
leads.
Just play the donut game. Oh my god, that's my
Isn't that when you've had sex?
Yeah, with someone
Well,
in the car.
after you've had sex, bring in a pack of donuts.
You have to bring in a pack of donuts,
I
and
never
then all
brought
of a sudden
any
in the
in.
green room, you're like, oh! It was a Krispy Kreme. It was a good one. If they're from Greg's,
a
you're
jammy
like,
one.
Chocky ring.
But yeah, I think
I didn't know this was a game.
you have to bring donuts.
I always bring
Kurt
donuts and celebrations and everything. At
I never
Christmas
brought
time.
donuts in, that's the problem.
Did you not ever know?
No, and I always bring donuts and celebrations and everything for
Your
everybody.
family
AJ,
very, very
Just thought you were a
successful.
busy bunny. Thought you were walking with a limp half a panto.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's a real
But
thing.
yeah, the lead should definitely
They should be the leads. You know,
100%.
Yeah, I think
less focus.
I think it gives a good work ethic to everyone that wants to reach that level. And I think I've worked with various types of leads where some have been amazing and really got to know the ensemble. Some have just ignored everyone below them, and I think that sucks. And
My
I think
first
that's the way-
panto, they said
because it alienates a whole
Yeah.
cast. It splits you up. and
you're bigger than me.
No matter
Ellie.
what you are, you're a human. You're on planet Earth.
Yeah.
No matter how tall, small, colour of your skin,
Yeah,
whatever it may be, you're a human.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't know if
That's
you
how
had
I
this,
look at
Curtis. Like
things.
in pantomime, my first one, I was come downstairs to use the kitchen, and they were like, "Why are you using the kitchen? Like you have your own kitchen upstairs and kettle." I was like, "Well, it's quite nice to come down and
Yeah, talk
talk to people." I just
Yeah.
want to
Rubbish. He just didn't realise he had his own kitchen.
He's there like, that being said,
I'm going to take my food and go and leave
That
now.
being said, once it's out the microwave, can you bring it up for me?
Yeah, pop that in for 3 minutes.
A
thanks,
question
Toots.
for you guys, because obviously we do tours all the time. I sometimes feel really isolated and really alone sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I know you work together, but when you're like the lead or you're on a tour or whatever, do you sometimes feel like you're not part of the group? You're just very like isolated.
It's hard when you do even. The
I
one thing
try
for me-
and bring myself. I try and bring the group all together.
Yeah.
You're very good at
AJ is
that.
he is more business side, but he will always bring the group together.
I think
as well.
what's
we'll
really
do
hard
cast lunches,
it's more
cast
adrenaline
meals.
and things like that. So say like when I do Strictly for 6 months, like you'd be 12 million people live every Saturday. There's a lot of adrenaline. You're doing all the other TV shows. You do a pantomime live show. You do an arena tour. You sold out the O2 4 times over. Wembley, Manchester, Glasgow, everything. When
Another club.
yeah, but, okay, I don't see any of them profits. I can tell you that. That's for sure. But then when you kind of you do all that and everything's so good, sometimes you don't realize that you're so tired that sometimes like you feel a bit down. And you'll be like, but no, I'm living my best life. Like, everything's great. I love performing. I'm doing what I do. But sometimes it's just a bit like you don't know why you're a bit zapped. And for me, it was always my worry was the hardest thing for me in the year was when I had the week or the month afterwards when I wasn't doing anything.
Yeah.
Like, why am I not finding that adrenaline? How do I find that adrenaline? I used to, well, we'd drive cars and we loved that. Like why am I driving maybe a bit too fast here? Why am I trying to find that in a new aspect and understanding where that level is, especially when you go 0 to hero. Like it's nothing and everything. And I think that's one thing within our industry. When you see people spiral, whether it be nights out or all the other stuff they shouldn't be doing, like it's because they're sometimes trying to find that next high.
Yeah, definitely.
That they're not being able to control it themselves.
Totally.
But sometimes I do feel like, because we would sometimes get our own car when we're traveling on tour if we're doing one, only because we'd be working in the day, we'd be
Sheer
doing
timing.
other things.
Sure, yeah.
So
Yeah.
we need our own car and then they'd be in a bus and stuff. if in the perfect world, I'd have everybody together. And I was all in the same car because it keeps you much more close.
That's what I love about pantomime, because everybody's away from home.
Yeah.
Like, of course we're going to do a cast bowling, a cast dinner. Like we would always have our ZZ's cards, black cards.
Not in the rehearsal process. I'm like, no, I'm done in. I give it 100%. I'm like, I can't be bothered.
It's like, guys, come on, we'll all go to ZZ's together because we'll use our black cards.
That's what I loved about our season 3 tour, because it was the first time we'd all been together, stuck on this bus for like 6 weeks, was it? And we actually got to socialise and get to know each other properly.
Because like when we did the show, it was like we were obviously in a bubble, but it was so.
Did you sleep on the bus?
Yeah.
On the tour,
But it was when we did the show, it was so controlled. All the conversations were controlled. It was like you couldn't have a normal conversation like, "What did you have for breakfast today?" Like you didn't do any of that. It was always like, "Stop talking," like until the cameras are rolling. So to actually get to spend 6 weeks with everyone was like amazing, because it was like, oh my god, I can actually like
you can freely have a conversation
and like, I have to worry about stop talking. So annoying.
But I struggle with the times when it's like personal appearances and I'm just traveling by myself with a little suitcase and you turn up to a thing like, hi, I'm here to perform. I get sometimes, if you're doing that 5 nights in a row, sometimes I'm like, I'm really lonely. I've got no one to talk to.
It's when you're in the dressing room for me. If you're just in the dressing room, you're just there like, I know I'm going to go out and do like a half-hour set or whatever, and I've got a meet and greet, so I'll be with people. But it's when you're in the dressing room, just like
zapped.
Yeah, because they want to treat you like you're like higher level or whatever. But actually, it would be nicer to just be amongst everyone.
Yeah, totally.
Cappuccino, rich tea biscuit, get me.
Using the kitchen downstairs, popping my microwave meal.
But I think what you said there can like in the UK is one level, but in America I see it on a whole nother level. But they do like lift you up so much that it's like you're placed in the dressing room and you stay there. Especially the more TV work you do, it's kind of like this is your pen. Stay here. Then we'll bring you out to perform and put you back. It's a weird scenario.
It's weird.
For me, it's my friends. That's what keeps me happy and going in any situation. So that I'll FaceTime my mates, things like that.
Yeah, totally.
Have a little conversation or call me granddad. Things like that keeps me grounded and keeps me.
I thought you said call me granddad. I was like,
cool.
Go for daddy.
Call me granddad, baby.
All right, granddad.
And on that note,
grandma.
Call me Nana, baby.
Oh gosh. He's like, what's up? What the hell?
I know today's podcast will go sideways at some point.
It was good. Call me granddad.
Call me granddad. Sorry.
Kurt's lost the plot now. Anyway, okay, TV shows like. You've done RuPaul. Like, what is the TV show that you'd want to do? MasterChef, obviously, killing it.
Oh, I love MasterChef.
Yeah.
Thought you should have won it.
Should have won.
You were robbed. Drag Race
on MasterChef.
Oh my god, there's so many that I'm just like, I'd love to do that one day. Like when they bring back Big Brother. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I would love that.
I've said that for Kurt as well. Kurt's so inquisitive. Like,
should we do it together?
Oh my god,
bring
you
it back?
Yes.
I want to do Strictly, so will you be my partner?
Push that.
Yeah,
sick on Strictly.
I don't want to do Big Brother.
Would you not?
No.
I'd love to, like anything where I don't have to pick up a scale.
I feel like me and you are this way.
Yeah.
To it that way.
I want to do Strictly. I want
I'm
to
a
do.
celeb,
I'm a celeb as well. I'd love to do that. Anything that's a challenge, like SAS, I'd love to do that. I'd love to do.
Would you
that.
highly recommend that?
One of those like where you have to ski off a slope.
Oh, the jump.
Oh, the jump.
Yeah.
Oh, didn't that get cancelled because everyone hurt themselves?
The game.
Everyone's breaking. Yeah,
I'm not very sporty, but I kind of think I'd be quite good at.
You're in shape.
I think I look sporty.
Yeah. I was gonna say I saw your chest when you walked in. I was like,
Granddad.
Granddad's checking us out.
Nana's got a good chest.
No, I think SAS, like the one thing that I love about that show and the audience, the core viewing audience, is it's not just about the physical and the mental side. There is a story that allows you to talk about certain things you want to get over or get off your chest. Like it's much more than the show itself. And I think like for the people that do it personally, you do get so much value out of that show that you can't get in any other aspect. When you're stripped back from everything, like, and you are exhausted, tired, deprived of everything, like that show is, for me, I'm a super fan of the show, and to do that show was, if not the best show for me.
I wasn't in long enough for it to become horrible. I really I was in for 5 days and I enjoyed the 5 days. I wish I was in for longer.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would have loved to have got to the interrogation to really feel what that felt like.
See, that would scare the
I
absolute crap out of
think
me.
because when I was at school, I used to get told off for smirking at my teacher. Like when I was in year 5.
God,
were you a troublemaker?
I used to get. She hated me because I smirked at her, and I didn't even realize what I
Just
didn't know
a
what a
happy
smirk
person.
was.
She was
no, but I must
flirting.
have been sat there like, like judging her. Mrs. Cole, if you're out there, you might be dead now. But she was a horrible
She
teacher.
turned it in the grave.
But she used to tell me off for smirking, so I worry on SAS if they'd be shouting in my face that I might be like,
I just laugh.
like, because that one with the dark hair and the beard, he's quite sexy, isn't he?
What, Rudy?
Oh.
Rudy's he's
I'd call him Granddad.
Yeah.
He's an
Lovely.
action man figure. He is.
Oh, he's got lovely
yeah,
arms, isn't he?
Great forearms.
Love to hang off of those forearms.
Actually,
That's why you have to do the show.
Yeah.
Anyway, Kitty, what TV show do you want to do? Quite clearly, you want to do SAS, do you? Or?
Oh, I say it. Can you imagine? Absolutely
DFS.
not. DFDS.
we all did a job together. The FDF.
You can check it out on
FDS.
YouTube. Do you know what I'd love to do? Like celeb go dating. I think that'd be so funny.
It's a good laugh.
I would love that. I'd be awful.
No,
I'd be
you'd
so
be great.
bad.
It's a nice one because if you don't find anybody, you don't fret. There's no
How
pressure.
brutally honest would you be with people?
How honest?
How brutally honest, like if they've come and they've not done something good or they're dressed a bit weird.
If
or
it ain't, if
Oh,
they're not your
are you
cup of tea.
snapping them down?
No, I'd be fake to their faces
Yeah, I
and
was
then
gonna
I'd go
say,
behind their
yeah.
backs and I'd be like, I need to go home.
I think you'd
Don't
be
fancy
you'd
them
be
at
nice
all.
to their face
Yeah.
in like the background
In the
film
com-
or
And then to
whatever.
Anna
Yeah.
and Paul when you're talking.
Yeah, it
to
should
them.
be
my
savage.
God, I'd be
You'd
like,
have to,
what the
like,
fuck
yeah.
is he
Get out.
wearing? Yeah.
All the signs help.
But I
Literally, like-
do feel like you've changed.
You've changed. Since Drag
You've
Race,
changed. Like, excuse me.
Sorry, Granddad.
I think you've become more open to what you actually feel
Yeah.
now, and I feel like back in the day, Kit'd be like, everything's amazing.
I love it.
Whereas now, I think
Yeah.
you would actually be like, I don't.
I feel like
this.
I've become more assertive.
That's good though.
Yeah.
I feel you need
I've
that.
rubbed
otherwise-
off on.
No, she has. Because now
I don't wanna know.
if I'm literally like,
So are you like a bit like Curtis? Like you always said yes to everything.
Yeah,
Try and
totally.
people please. Try and. Whereas unfortunately, you can't say yes to everybody. You've got to say no.
do you know what though now? Like if something happens and like I'll be like talking to someone and I'll be like, I'll think like, if I'm with Ella, Ella will be like, you're boring. And like, but like it goes through my head and I'm like, yes, she is. And I stop talking now. I'm like, oh, I'm like, she's rubbed off on me.
That's why
It makes me laugh so much. Like I'll literally be talking to someone in my head. I'm like, I'm bored. You just hear your voice go like, boring.
I feel like it's a David Williams sketch.
But like in drag,
Just start like talking to
would that be in
someone's
drag?
talking
Definitely
and
in
I'm like,
drag, I'd be like, boring conversation. Moving on.
No, even like everyday life.
Everyday life,
I'll be
yeah.
like at the gym, like I'll be like, are you using this machine? You're like, well, I am, but I'm going like, oh,
Are you still
boring.
talking?
Oh my God.
So if you come back for All Stars and there's like kind of a snatch game or something, I can imagine it's like schizophrenia. It's like different voices going on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll be in her ear. Say something.
Oh, sorry, that wasn't out loud, was it?
Tell you love
That's not right. Tell them. Tell them what they look like. Go on.
So yeah. What were we talking
I
about?
can't remember.
No,
Did you see you two working together for a long time?
Oh, I'd love that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Little TV program, you two together or something.
Oh my God.
Comedy
that's-
Central.
That's the
I feel like you should
that's
have your
the
own show on
that's the
Comedy
goal. I
Central.
think.
Yeah.
You know, we've got an exciting project coming up together soon, but like you can't
Drags
you
on
can't
tour.
teach this. You can't like the bond we have is so unique, and going through an experience like Drag Race, having the same sense of humor, being able to host together, but knowing what the person's gonna say is just so unique.
Nice, and it makes it very easy. Then it doesn't
Yeah.
become a
Yeah,
job.
it
becomes actually
does.
just. Oh,
And
nice
also, I know it sounds like so cliche, but it never feels like we're working.
No,
Like,
I
when
was
we're
gonna say
together,
that. I
it's
knew
like,
you were
I'm
gonna
just
say
like-
that.
But it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, it's just like hanging out with your mate. And
Yeah.
you're just
Oh,
like,
that's lovely.
it's
That's
fun.
great.
Like,
yeah.
it must be the same for you two.
I feel like killing him sometimes.
Yeah.
I do
can
all the
see.
work. What you're on about? Nothing would happen if I'm dead.
Savage, Granddad.
You've really opened a can of worms. No, it's great working together. To be fair, we have always done loads of different things together all our lives. Whether it's a
I think
dancing,
it's
with
nice
the-
building projects.
Yeah.
For me, I like to kind of have something and kind of grow it and build it and see the opportunity and really shoot for the stars. And like if I get half of it, I'm going to be happy because I've gone for like stupid extremes. And that's one thing. To be honest, when we dance, it's like, okay, I'm going to be number one in the world. Well, bloody hell, that's crazy. That's never going to happen. Like, well, if you don't go for number one, like, well, you're not even going to make number 2, 3.
Exactly.
Yeah. Sometimes I go for a number one and I end up having a number 2 by accident.
Yeah. If you're standing up.
But were you happy with the result?
Sometimes. Not always.
Not every time.
Sometimes it's a mess.
It's just like a urinal, it's a bit of a worry. It's a log.
There's going to have to be a warning with this episode, I feel like, at the beginning.
Nanny and granddad and diapers available. Is that the ad? Okay, there must be some
what we're talking about
that you've done for like a brand deal that's coming. Or
what's
something.
the weirdest
What's
thing?
the weirdest brand deal thing that you've
My
got
favourite
that's
thing
coming?
with brand deals is when all of a sudden you get put on people's close friends. If they've just done a brand deal, it's like, please share, please like and share, please comment.
The weirdest thing? I can't think.
The weirdest ad deal, like brand deal. Oh God, there's been so many.
Because obviously sometimes you're like, oh, I don't want to do that, and then you look at the price and you're like, I love that brand.
Oh, it's my favourite brand in the world. I'm so glad they asked. All of them are weird.
No, 'cause I turn them down if they're weird, I think. Like, I got asked to...
Oh, you're quite selective.
Yeah, because I got asked to advertise like a razor and to shave my legs. And I was like, I don't shave my legs. I wear 6 pairs of tights, so I don't have to. Like, you shave yours. But they were like, oh, but you can shave your legs. And I'm like, but my fans would know that it's just made up for the advert.
Yeah.
So your advert would be, I never shave my legs, but for this price,
Yeah,
for this
This
money,
is a good
I will.
razor.
And let me put some tights over the top. You know,
Yeah.
it made no
Seamless.
sense.
Yeah.
Or like sex toys. I don't really feel
Yeah.
comfortable selling sex toys on my particular profile.
I
Like,
think
nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
But like, for me, it's
At
not.
first, I remember like when the brand deals were coming in, it was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And then like the more time that's gone on, the more selective I've become.
I was just thinking, my brain just gone business-wise. You know, you got all these OnlyFans people. Like, surely, if you had an OnlyFans together or something like that, like
Cool.
you'd be
lots of feet
breaking
pics,
it in.
Well, someone was asking me if I had an OnlyFans yet, and I was
just-
like, no, I don't want
yet.
one. But then you
Yet.
could do one that's more tasteful.
Oh
And
no,
not
You don't
tasteful,
have to.
huh?
This
Yeah.
thing,
Showing, like,
OnlyFans was
full
originally
charm.
out there
Yeah.
to promote your business.
Tasteful nudes.
yeah, tasteful. It could be tasteful.
Yeah, tasteful, just like.
But then you've got Instagram subscriptions as
I'm
well.
getting there
Hang on, it's
fired.
got a call.
Yeah, my phone was
got-
meant to be on airplane mode.
Somebody's getting fired. You've got that Instagram subscription thing, and I was thinking maybe I could do that, and then people could see like behind the scenes stuff or like getting ready.
Just whole.
Because I don't do Instagram. You're disgusting.
Kitty.
Do you talk to your mother with that mouth?
I regretted it straight
Dirty girl.
You subscribe
Home pics.
to my Instagram.
Like, wow. You're disgusting.
She's like, wow.
Yeah. Lol.
Oh my God. So back to your subscription.
So is that
Well, like,
actually
I
a
can
thing
hear
on
the scene.
Instagram? There's a little
Yeah,
subscription
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
You know what? Doing like behind the scenes things and stuff would really work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should have your own YouTube page.
The thing with OnlyFans is it's got such a name now for being
Yeah.
thing.
the other
Wasn't
thing.
it originally not meant to be?
It was
like,
meant to be
for-
promoting your business. Whatever your business
Yeah.
is, you're meant to promote it on OnlyFans. That's what it was originally like. Small videos and stuff to promote your
Yeah.
I'll
business.
just get my tartars out on it.
Your tartar sauce.
Yeah.
Yeah. My cooking, my MasterChef recipes. Subscribe to my OnlyFans. For some
Kitty
MasterChef
turns around
behind
in,
the
in an apron. Before we go absolutely sideswiped,
Boiling.
I think need to open the windows more, innit? It's getting a bit toasty.
Yeah, it's very warm.
Every hole's a goal.
Even I've lost the plot now.
What are we talking about?
Holes. Golf.
Gulping.
Money, business, and the success that these guys have got.
I
It's all
think-
down to your personalities and everything.
Yeah.
guys. That's
We
what I've
do have to
literally
talk
gotta
about
say.
one thing. Like most people talk about business, but like when you are your business and you are, the harder you work, the more money you can make, and really kind of really developing on the brand that you've got. Like, what would you want to do? Like Curtis has always gone like, you know what, I want a coffee brand because in Love Island, I'd make everybody coffee. Not that they've ever made me a coffee in my life. Like,
I've made you a coffee once or twice. 3 times.
I love
Don't
a
you live
coffee.
together?
ever.
No,
I
we did
kicked
live.
him out.
We did live together.
Oh.
And then
But even when you live together, did you never make him a coffee?
Never.
I made him a coffee.
Ever.
I made
never.
It was an espresso and coffee machine.
It's like therapy.
Yeah.
Flipped it up and then stuck it in.
Did AJ, excuse me, we're not talking about that. We're talking about coffee. Have you ever?
You should get an OnlyFans for the outtakes of this particular podcast.
Hit my head on the
AJ,
bike.
have you ever made Kurt a coffee?
No.
Oh.
Oh, right.
It's like a phone, it works both ways, AJ.
Thank you. Yeah. You can come back.
Yes,
You're the one making the coffee. Anyway, what product would you be, Kitty, if you wanted to sell something to
Do you know, I was thinking this the
boost
other
your
day.
economy?
I was thinking about doing like nails, like press on nails, because Kitty's got claws.
Very good.
And it's not even that I wear press on nails because I have like my critties done. But still.
So, sorry, press on nails. What's a press on nail? What's,
like,
just glue it
you
on.
get like
Just
a,
literally
like,
I
yeah.
stick them on.
But
Just
I was
literally
like, oh my
stick on
God,
and they're easy
literally,
to
like,
come off
why
then,
have
yeah.
I, yeah, you just
Yeah,
like
yeah.
ping them off. But it's like, why have I never thought of that? Like, I could make a killing. Kitty Scott-Claus.
Kitty, we'll talk after.
You actually
Literally.
would make it.
And then I was thinking the other day as well, I was
Where'd you
like,
get your nails done?
Iris Avenue in Fitzrovia.
There's that one, Medusa in Knightsbridge is very good and they do insane nails.
Oh,
like,
I've seen them on Instagram.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
they're fab. I was thinking the other day
I'll
as
sort it
well.
out, get you some nails on that.
Come on.
Gorgeous.
I'd love to like do shoes, like design shoes, but it's a bit kinky boots, isn't it? But like thinking like, oh my God, if you had like a shoe brand, I mean, obviously I wouldn't be the brains of it. I'd just be like designing them. But like, there'd all be nude pumps with me. Every single shoe would be a nude
Yeah.
pump. They'd be called the Kate Middletons. But thinking like a shoe brand, like designed for drag queens, by drag queens, I'm like, oh my God, why has no one done that?
That is actually.
I think the nails is more.
We'll go
And
with the
then the
nails.
nails is great
It's
to start
easier.
with.
Yeah, we'll
You
start
can
with
see it
the
to
Primark.
sell.
Oh my God, I could.
Just
Yeah.
saying.
How about you?
Well, I have allergies. Aww.
I didn't get an R from anybody.
Yeah,
Silence
So-
in the audience.
I
Well,
basically.
Nick, I don't have allergies.
I have
so,
no. I only have. I have.
she's
I
got
developed an
dyslexia.
allergy from doing drag.
It's
Mainly,
a body's
mainly
way
to
of saying
humans.
quick.
No, I used to like use nail glue to stick my earrings on, and I used to use something on my eyebrows. I'm allergic to something called methacrylate, and it's actually one of the fastest growing allergies from wearing
Yeah.
nails. Because it's an acrylate and it's something that can give you an allergy, basically. So I have to be really careful about what makeup I use. Because the other day I used a new eyeliner and a new thing, and it made my eyes completely blow up.
So it'll be like
You're looking great, and you look to the mirror like, Jesus!
Yeah, so I'll be out of action for like 4 days because my eyes look
And
like
is it
I've been
because of
stung.
that one ingredient that's in the
Yeah.
product? And that
And
is
it's
that
in
in a lot?
It's in a lot. It's in really top products like Charlotte Tilbury, like has this
Yeah.
stuff in it.
Really?
Yeah. That's what made me react. So like I mean maybe down the line you can get like an acrylate latex free like lash glue. So maybe there's something in it just to stop people developing these allergies because it's literally
And is that one of the fastest growing?
yeah, it
allergies,
is. It was named one of the fastest growing allergies.
Take both of them down my notes
Yeah.
section and speak
And
to you
it's-
later.
It's one of them things where I don't think people know about it, but like for me, it's bothered me for like 2.5 years.
Yeah.
And it's literally got me out of work, and like I've not been able to do a lot of work because of it, because my skin's just gone.
Yeah. So whether it's a cream you
So
put
whether
on
it's
before or a tablet you
something
just
like
take
that,
or something.
yeah, I don't know, but that was just an idea I had.
We'll talk
Yeah.
later. I'm going to WhatsApp you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna WhatsApp you, and I'll find out. Because
That's a very good
these are
idea.
great ideas.
It's quite specific.
Nails is that's.
But-
Yeah, but if
that's
it's specific
quite
to you, then it's going to be
complex.
specific to a
Nails
lot
is,
of
I
the
think,
people.
Yeah.
It's just not
straight
talked
away.
about.
A lot of people have
Yeah.
sensitive skin. I'm also obsessed with QVC. So like the fact that Ruth Langsford has her own clothing range on QVC, I'm obsessed with. So whether I did like a men's version or ladies, something like
Nice
that. I like the idea of going on TV and just talking about a product for like 10 minutes.
And
saying how
something you've
wonderful
made
it
as
is.
well.
Yeah.
So,
I
Yeah.
like the idea of that.
I remember when we did the ill-fated advertising challenge on Drag Race.
Yeah.
And I remember just being, because like before Drag Race, you on Instagram, we were like, oh my God, she's so good at doing like the selling. Not
Oh, yeah,
selling,
no, 'cause I
but
was, yeah.
when we got put on the same team, I was like, oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've got
because
QVC over
very
here.
early into drag, I was getting these discount codes and all sorts. So
Yeah,
my drag
use
was
code
very
Ella
business. I'm a business lady from
Yeah,
the
you
get-go.
are.
Yeah,
You are the AJ of the piece.
I am. Yeah.
The people pleasers over here.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm the granddad.
You're the big granddad.
Yeah,
I'm the
granddad.
cute little Twinkie business lad.
Pinky little.
Oh no, to both of you, honestly, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. We've had the most fun talking to you.
This has been brilliant.
It's
To be
so
honest,
fun.
we spoke earlier, and I was trying to work out. Usually, I'm quite. What's the plan going to be of the podcast? I was like,
There is
whatever
no
the
plan.
plan is going to be,
fun.
it's going to go out the window.
Yeah.
We'll hit some points, and then we'll see where we go from there.
That's
Well,
the issue.
I want one bit of advice from both of you, just before the end. I want best bit of advice for any drag queen starting off.
To be yourself and to find what makes you unique, and then to push with that, lead with that, because you don't want to copy of someone else.
And
Yeah.
do drag because you enjoy it.
Mamas?
It's what?
Do you have, what's it?
like drag
like
mothers.
dance mums.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
it's not
teach
really a
you.
thing
Is that
over here.
Not really, no.
Like, it's more like American. And I feel like the more people watch Drag Race, the more influence they get.
Yeah.
That it's like, this is my drag daughter. It's like, it's not really
Yeah.
a thing over here. But
no.
Sorry, Nick, I jumped in.
No, I was going to say, do drag because you enjoy it.
Yeah.
Not because you want to go on Drag Race and you want to do this. Like,
Yeah.
I started it because I was bored of what I was doing and I wanted to do something more creative. So I think do it because you want to have fun and you want to, have a good time.
And would you say that's why you really haven't worked a day in your life doing what
Yeah.
you do now?
Yeah.
Because you enjoy it.
no,
Yeah.
totally.
Big key lesson.
Yeah.
If you're not having fun, move on, do something else.
Yeah. Boring. Anyway, speaking of, this is boring now. Bye.
Flip the table.
No, thank you so
It's been
much,
brilliant.
guys. Yeah.
Just them talking, we're like,
Say ASMR. Whale song.
Welcome back to David Attenborough whale noises. Yeah.
Sorry. The way both of our brains are, we go in different divergences
I like
all
it.
the
No,
way.
it's because your salad and wine has now kicked in and it's gone and
Oh,
it's
it's
all over the
fabulous.
spot.
Maybe I'll start my own wine brand, going back to that, yeah.
Oh,
Back to what? Well, you
yeah.
can't go wrong with
Start a
can you?
wine.
Actually,
Would
no,
you start
could go
with-
really well with wine? Some wine's bad. Some wine's
Would you
Or maybe
start with a
Prosecco.
white, a rosé, or a red?
you'd have to
Whatever's-
do a
whatever's
Kylie, you'd have
cheapest to
just
make.
do them all.
Amen.
Yeah.
Whichever sells the best and is cheapest to
Exactly.
make.
Yeah.
Maybe Prosecco.
Oh, God.
Something Italian in me. Carry on.
On that note, thank you very much to listen. This podcast is sponsored by FINT, the financial investment app, and we hope you've enjoyed sitting with us and listening to us because we have had, oh my God, my cheeks are hurting so much. I've been laughing and smiling so much from this episode.
We've definitely had the most funniest guests on so far.
Thank you.
Sorry
It's the
to-
first
yeah.
episode.
Yeah, and we'll be having nobody else.
Well,
And now
one
we're
of
off
one.
air.
Thank you so
That
much
was
for
really
having
fun.
us.
We don't get to do this together very much, do we?
No.
So it's-
yeah.
We will have to do it again.
Yeah,
We'll do
we'll
it
do it
again
again. Yeah, yeah.
beginning of next year. I know you've
Yeah.
got some things you've got coming
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, definitely.
Kitty, I'm sure you've also got some great things
Oh,
coming
yeah.
out. The nails, we're going to have them sorted.
Yeah. And I'll bring wine. So
Yeah.
it'll be fabulous.
Oh my God. Podcast with wine.
Yeah.
That
Oh,
would be kept.
there you
That's
go.
what we'll
You
do
guys.
next time. We'll have a
That'd be
we'll have a glass of wine.
That sounds
Yeah,
good.
or a bottle.
But, yeah, with a
Gorgeous.
straw.
Well, I'll look
Oh, yeah.
forward to that, and we're going to sign off because now my brain has gone. I'm fried now.
Cheers, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for listening.
God, is it guys or is that too?
Oh,
Hang on, we'll do
God,
that one
see
more
you.
time. AJ, we'll do
Guys,
it
girls,
one more
non-binary
time.
pals.
Can we have guys, girls, and
Cheers,
Non-binary
Cheers,
pals.
people.
Yeah, I should hand it off to you because I would get lost.
Cheers.
Just say goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye, everyone.
That identifies anything.
Vadies and gentle thems.
The what?
Vadies and gentle thems.
Full stop. Out. Cut.
Thank you. Thanks for listening to the podcast. That was Freedom Impact Trust. We hope you've enjoyed it. We've loved chatting once again. Please leave a comment below because it really helps the algorithm and helps get the podcast out there. And also, let us know if there's any financial questions which you want answering, and we can answer them in the pod next week. Like I said, share, like, comment, subscribe, and let everybody know about the podcast.
And thank you to our sponsors, FINT, the financial investment app, where you can invest from as little as £50 a month.
£50?
Yes, £50, Curtis.
Well, wow, it's an absolute bargain. And don't forget, it's through 3 different portfolios. So choose the one that you like and get investing.
Have a great day.
See you later, guys.